Good morning. Good morning to survivors of narcissistic abuse, and good morning to survivors of toxic personalities and manipulative personalities. Today I wanted to talk about our toolbox, our new toolbox. We were given a toolbox that we've been using up until this point. The old toolbox was given to us by a lot of times, mostly it's our family of origin, but also through some rough experiences that we've been through, we developed a toolbox that actually works in favor of manipulative and abusive people. So we got to take that old toolbox, get it out, pull everything out, take a look at it, see what we've been working with, and figure out why it hasn't been working, right? And then we have to replace some of those tools with new healthy tools. So in our old toolbox, we have enmeshed family systems, right? So we were taught to be codependent. We were taught to tiptoe around people who are unwell or abusive, people who are untreated, perhaps addicted or alcoholic. We were taught how to live within an enmeshed and codependent family system. And that sort of, was the catalyst for a lot of other things that happen throughout the course of our lives. In our old toolbox, we have low self-esteem. We have deep-seated shame. We have basically just aiming low in life and in relationships. In the old toolbox, we have reactive responses. We also have poor boundaries. And in the old toolbox, we believed that our time, attention, and energy was something that we would invest in relationships and that there would be a return. And we're sort of just handing it out to anyone and everyone as our way of trying to obtain emotional connectedness through giving, doing for others, right? So in the old toolbox, we have time, energy, and intention that's sort of just leaking out of us. We're not even aware of the fact that we're being drained a lot of times. And anybody can just latch on and start finding solace in us or using us as a resource for things without a balanced type of healthy interaction. And we've also learned to accept the unacceptable. We rationalize it in our mind why something is okay, even though we know it's not okay, right? We know it's not okay, but we try to make ourselves okay with it. With the old toolbox, we are built for people who want to get something from us. They want to get our attention, our time, our money, our nurturing. They want us to take care of them. But basically, they just want us to be there for them whenever they need us for whatever. And these could be family members. It could be a church. It could be a group of any sort that you belong to, a classroom. So these things can go on at work. It can go on in friendships. It can go on romantic relationships. In the new toolbox, right? So this is you on your path to recovery from abuse. You're going to develop this new toolbox. And in that new toolbox is tools to set boundaries, really super important, because we're not really great with that at first. It takes practice. We're also going to learn that self-care is number one priority. And instead of nurturing everyone else but ourselves, we're going to start nurturing ourselves first. And that means attending to our well-being and making sure that we have our needs met. We're going to do lots of self-care. We're going to make some tough decisions also, decisions that we have been avoiding that have to do with removing a toxic presence or a toxic situation, something that's draining us, something that we need to correct. And that can be really hard. but it's necessary. So in the new toolbox, we are going to put with that some ways that we can set boundaries in a kind way, in a warm way, but just letting people know that whatever the scenario is, that doesn't work for you, or that you're not able to do that. Maybe it's an invitation, or maybe it was a responsibility or something you were obligated to do, and now you've decided, I'm not going to do that anymore, because you're deciding to protect your time, your energy, and your attention. You're going to start taking charge of toxic situations and take responsibility for your part in getting stuck in the situation. So a lot of times I hear people talking about like I don't have a choice, I have to do this for this person, and I have to do this for this person, and then this person relies on me for this, and it's almost like we feel like we don't have a choice, but we absolutely do have a choice. And you'd be amazed how resourceful people can be when you say, I know I was doing that for you before, but I can't do it for you now. Situation has changed. My needs have changed. And they might be a little bit upset with you at first, but usually people will either self-select out of the relationship, and that hurts, but that's also good news, because now we know, right, that they're not our genuine friend, and that they really were just there because we were a resource to them. Sometimes it takes somebody a minute just to get reacclimated to the new you. So they might take a little space at first, but then come back with abiding by your new boundaries that you've set. So I just think it's important to start using mindfulness. In other words, you're watching yourself as an outside observer, an objective outside observer, non-judgmental, right? So we're watching ourselves. Just be aware of when you're using tools from the old toolbox, right? When someone is doing something that you're really not okay with and you freeze, right, and you don't respond, or you go along with it, just be aware that you're doing that. We're not going to change in a short period of time or one day. It takes practice, but just be aware of you using your old tools and you using your new tools. And as you're becoming more aware of how much you use either one, then you can start to take charge of which tools you're going to decide to use in whatever the situation might be. Give yourself permission to practice with your new tools, right? So that means that we're going to possibly start dating again after a bad divorce or a bad romantic situation where we've gotten away from someone. A lot of people think that they're supposed to wait a really long time before they start dating again. But if you do start dating again, that gives you an opportunity to start practicing with a new you. And it can be awkward and weird and uncomfortable, but it's also a good way to figure out what you don't want, and what you do want, and then how to express that in a way that is empowering to you. Anyhow, just wanted to offer this encouragement to you for the week, and please reach out via private message or in the comments if you have any ideas of things that you'd like for us to talk about weekly, topics that you want to hear about. Just shoot me a message, and we'll make sure that we get those covered. New toolbox, old toolbox. Just be aware, okay? And have a good day. Thanks.